country, 'tis of thee. It's the badass of the galaxy. He's nothing special, so they say, till the tiger gets his day. Square dance, a denim pants, Melvin is the rodeo. Last chance on the crazy bull, Melvin is the rodeo. A country punk with too much spunk, a city slick with a gigantic kick. Melvin is the rodeo. Pew pew, punch two, and the biggest kick in space. Melvin is the rodeo. Pew pew, punch two, and the biggest kick in space. Oh yeah.
Bakers, backers, thank you all. We're headed toward the final goal. Mastering and touching up, giving it that touch of love. Darkness dies, as you will say, with this book of rarity. The cards are with the cardinal, the cardinal of justice. Evil lurks throughout the land. It's eating at the common man. The darkness seeks to pull you down, push your light into the ground. What's wrong is right, what's right is wrong. You know the truth, so keep it strong until the final battle comes. Brother, we're the only ones. Titans rise to crush the demons. Justice is back in season. Ties to crush the demons. Justice is back in season. Titans rise, crush the wicked. Justice is back in season. Titans rise, crush the wicked. Justice is back in season. A man being transported through time by God. An angel appears telling him, put on a nearby suit. And after that he must travel south. The suit on he is endowed with incredible powers. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. Another man wanting to end his life. Canadian shield saves him in the nick of time. Now he lets the man know reasons to live. With this the man goes on to live many more days. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power way and help those he can in need. A villain appears and threatens many. Canadian Shield rush to the scene. A battle ensues and blows are traded. The Canadian Shield wins and many are saved. Canadian Shield with the power of strength. Canadian Shield with the power of speed. Canadian Shield with the power of flight. Canadian Shield with many more powers will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need.
The Canadian Shield 3 coming your way on Fund My Comic on July 5th, 2025 at noon Eastern Standard Time. Be there! Oh yeah! Canadian Shield rocks!
And pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Matthew 24:20. Pray for your flight to not coincide with winter or the Sabbath. Matthew 24:20. The Sabbath, a day of rest in winter. A season of harsh weather would make their flight more difficult and perilous. Underquote the fuck it down. Under the ring, mature with a zing, violent with a sting. It is Eladio. Comic. Item, tick, comic, click, under the ring. It is Eladio.
Here time, jump in, Native American, super suited, superhero, with a heart for Jesus. Canadian Shield, he's the rock in the field of grass. Canadian Shield, he's a foot for the kick in the... Asteroids are falling, the shield will get him all. Asteroids are falling, the shield will get him all. galaxy. He's nothing special, so they say, till the tiger gets his day. Square dance and denim pants, Melvin is the rodeo. Last chance on the crazy bull, Melvin is the rodeo. A country punk with too much spunk, a city slick with a gigantic kick. Melvin is the rodeo. Pew pew, punch two, and the biggest kick in space. Melvin is the rodeo. Pew pew, punch two, and the biggest kick in space. Oh yeah.
We meet again, just Martin. I will destroy thee this time. So have at thee come, if you dare. Yes, you are defeated. Not again.
Got no pickup or puppy dog, just got my weapons and fatigues on. I got a crazy look and an amazing book, but don't scramble my eggs, Country Melvin. Don't shave my damn legs, Country Melvin. Don't get in the way, a Country Melvin. A pew pew and punch two, pew pew and punch two. Yeah, yeah. Wah, wah, wah. Evil lurks throughout the land. It's eating at the common man. Darkness seeks to pull you down, push your ass into the ground. What's wrong is right, what's right is wrong. You know the truth, so keep it strong. When the motherfucking battle comes, our battles must be fought as one. Titans rise, seize the fight, taking down the wicked with the power of might. Justice is back in season. Captain or a leader of the team, Thunder Fist, the secret in the shadows. Vulcan speedier than any bullet. Moonstar, the mind is deeper than the well. Titans rise to crush the demons. Justice is back in season. Titans rise to crush the demons. Justice is back in season. What's right is wrong. You know the truth, so keep it strong. When the motherfucking battle comes, our battles must be fought as one. Titans rise, seize the fight, taking down the wicked with the Revelation 12:07, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and the dragon fought and his angels. Sing the world, release the cry, for this dawn of rising.
We are the world, and we are jealous. Canadian shield should be in our nations, killing all the evil trees. Stop the evil trees. Canadian shield, the envy of the world. We've got oak and maple and evergreens. Canada ain't the only one. We need shielding in our lands. We'll pay you handsomely, killing all the trees, all the evil, evil trees. Canadian shield, the envy of the world. Canadian shield, the envy of the world.
A trio came and they bestowed power to a man unknown. Sent him out into the land, power coursing through his hands. Evil lies at every door, gnashing teeth you can't ignore. Trials of the sinner's life, living life under the knife. Evil seeks to bring us down, and the devil doesn't fool around. But the cardinal, he fights to save the day. No matter the fight, fighting for right, firing the might, blood-drenched tide. The cardinal, the cardinal of justice commands. Stop! We didn't do, pink and white, take it to shoot when he wanted the fountain. And then it came to be, the cardinal was lost to all. But the cry of the weakest makes him the strongest. God be with him, God be with the cardinal. The cardinal, he fights to save the day. No matter the fight, he always musters the might. The cardinal, the cardinal of justice is here.
won't the fuck it down. Under the ring, mature with a zing, mature with a zing, violent with a sting. It is LNDO. Under the ring, it is LNDO. 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 And atomic comic. LNDO. LNDO.
So who is coming to fund my comics on July 5th? 2025. It's the one, the only, the courageous Canadian Shield landing on Fund My Comic on Saturday, July 5th, 2025. Be there! Yeah!
Evil lurks throughout the land. It's eating at the common man. The darkness seeks to pull you down. Push your light into the ground. What's wrong is right, what's right is wrong. You know the truth, so keep it strong until the final battle comes. Brother, we're the only ones. Titans rise to crush the demons. Justice is back in season. Ties to crush the demons. Justice is back in season. Titans rise, crush the wicked. Justice is back in season. Titans rise, crush the wicked. Justice is back in season.
A man being transported through time by God. An angel appears telling him put on a nearby suit. And after that he must travel south. The suit on he is endowed with incredible powers. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. Another man wanting to end his life. Canadian shield saves him in the nick of time. Now he lets the man know reasons to live. With this the man goes on to live many more days. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need. A villain appears and threatens many. Canadian shield rush to the scene. A battle ensues and blows are traded. The Canadian shield wins and many are saved. Canadian shield with the power of strength. Canadian shield with the power of speed. Canadian shield with the power of flight. Canadian shield with many more powers. Will fight the evil that comes his way and help those he can in need.
The Canadian Shield 3 coming your way on Fund My Comic on July 5th, 2025 at noon Eastern Standard Time. Be there! Oh yeah! Canadian Shield rocks!
Hello. Welcome to the show. It's been a rocky start at the break, but not too bad because it was just me. How are you, Diana?
I'm pretty good.
Oh, yeah. So, what are we going to talk about tonight?
We had our grandson today, so I'm actually really good. What are we
Yes.
going to talk about tonight? We're going to talk about that you are almost done the book.
You're very excited about that.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
But
Honestly.
I am taking about as much time as I possibly can.
Yep. And then some.
Well, you know, hang on. I got to do a couple of things. Talk for a minute.
Okay. I hate when he does that. So anyway, so I had my grandson today. Rather, our grandson. We went in the pool, and he's going to be 3 next month. And he was in his little penguin floaty. We're going around in the pool. He's like, "Oh my," he calls me Ma. "I am so happy." He was just so happy to be. He loves to swim. He loves the pool. He loves the water. But it was really cute. But as far as Darkness Rise, this is probably the first time I've ever seen Chris take this much time on a book. Hey, Lumen. And so I'm kind of impressed with it, but I'm trying to nail the Juby slide. I don't know what that is. Well, maybe you'll get it. That's a good thing. Trying to nail. Do you know where the Juby slide is, Chris?
No.
What is a Juby slide?
It sounds interesting.
Not a Juby slide, a Juby slide. Yeah.
That's
So yeah, so he was really.
So like I realized why it's a dance challenge.
Oh, thank you.
It's a dance thing where I think it's dance. Okay, cool. We're gonna kick right now.
Yeah.
Okay. But I have found that I get more reclusive towards the end of a book. And the reason being is in the beginning and in the middle, if somebody comes along and they influence me in any way, if they come up and I'm talking about the story, say, "Wow, it'd be cool if his cape was blue in this issue." Maybe I take to that and I just figure out a way to put it in there. I like it, right? But when you're in the beginning or the middle of the book, it's easy to add something. When you're at the end, it's impossible. Well, no, it's not impossible, but it is not easy and not recommended.
For you, because you're just such a goob ahead.
Well, I'm very fluid when it comes to my creation. I am not. I probably wouldn't work out well in Hollywood or in any professional sense that is established because I'm very fluid.
Okay. Well.
And I wouldn't even say I'm impulsive. But if we're going to California and we're on a highway and I see a better way, I have no hesitation of jumping off the one that I'm on. And that's just who I am, where some people would be like, "Nope, we're planning to go on Route 95 the whole way." I don't know what the routes are, so please, if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments below, or just join it. Join the chat. Some of you already have the link. If you want to join the chat, you can ask for the link in chat. We'll share it. But if you're like some sort of internet cosmic weirdo, you will regret it. Because, we don't like internet cosmic weirdos. We are a comic book company. I am a comic book creator. And I really appreciate other small press creators. The smaller you are, the better. I do mine basically on my iPad. It makes a lot of the mechanics of making a comic very easy. I recommend it for anybody who wants to go solo, unless you're hooked on paper. I'm actually hooked on glass. I prefer glass. I don't like putting, textured screen coverings on. What's up, Cap's in the house?
Hey.
Where was I going? So I prefer drawing on glass now. So like if I was doing everything on paper, would be there would be natural delays. Like you draw everything in pencil, then you ink everything, and you have to wait to dry. Okay, I'm gonna wait. Are you done?
Yep. Sorry.
You could just mute when you type, and it won't do that.
I know.
You just forgot again.
I do.
You need a
I do.
producer. who
I'm so
just
sorry.
sends it. Yes, Darkness Skies. Cap, I'm telling you, man. So I was just explaining, like, it's hard for me to talk to people towards the end of a book. I get more isolated, but it's also partially because I get closer to the finish line. You know, like, so when you're in a marathon, like, I figure when you start, you're around everybody, you're kind of, you know, you're chatty, you're trying to figure out how you're going to trip the guy in front of you so you can get ahead, you know, and you're thinking like that. And then, you know, towards the end, you don't want to talk to anybody. You got to focus on that line. And that's something that happens to me. I get more and more reclusive as the days go by. Thank God that we finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, because, and it's not that I'm not loving every second of this, but I can't tell a story and leave like huge holes that need something, you know? So I'll
And
add
that's part of the problem, I think, with you too, is you're right.
problem. It's an uncommon.
Well, it's not a problem. I shouldn't have said problem. I apologize. But it's just, you know, you're a great creator. And I'm like,
well, it's
yeah,
part of
I
my
get it.
creative process. And here's the real kicker, because I know I've already heard this from so many people, and sorry, I just don't think like that. But you know, like right now we're at, I think the last proof was 182 pages.
Mhm.
You know, there are people out there who would tell me I should have broken that up into
Yep.
6 issues, you know, or
Yeah.
more. And that way you get the most bang for your buck. Well, maybe, but that's not how I want it to work. And Cyclopean is really like that too, you know, except he's every 30 pages or so, although he usually goes to 40. Thank you, Eric. Welcome to the chat. And you know,
Hey,
there's
Eric.
enough people here. I'm going to paste the link, but nobody feel pressure. If you want to join, feel free. I'm not really promoting anything tonight. I'm kind of talking a little bit about Darkness Dies. One of the videos, actually, it was in a couple of videos, I shared some never seen art in terms of the public. But I think you guys have pretty much seen everything. I know Eric certainly has.
Mhm.
Tony gets a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well. But generally, other than Diana and I, Diana has really got the best handle on it because she can lean in over my shoulder, you know.
And I
You know
do.
what? You know what's funny, Eric? I remember talking to you a few weeks ago saying I wasn't sure how I was going to tie one thing to another. And then it just like, blink, there it was. And Diana was like, "Oh, this is great." I'm like, "Okay." It's getting crazy because everything has to lead to a climax. And there have been like 2 or 3 climax already in the book where I
Yeah,
could have
the end, I just got to put it out there. The end is what he's writing and doing right now. I don't think they even know about the end, right? Of what's going on in the story now.
not really thinking, but what's funny for Eric and Tony is that the end is an example of how I can be influenced when I'm writing a book. There was a joke floating around Mantown, which if they think they'll know, about what we were going to do to young Neo in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that manifests itself in the book.
Yep.
In the way that they're going to think, because I'm
boy.
not like a grotesque pig, but
Right.
in the way they think without the way they think.
What?
I'm not disgusting, but I
Oh my
like
gosh.
really like making people think, oh my goodness, he's gonna, no, he's not gonna, oh, I think he's gonna do it. Oh no. You know, it's like when you see a pet in trouble in a movie. You don't kill pets in movies, by the way. You just don't, just never. Evil people, even if it's fake. It's
What
evil.
if they're super pets or
You know
bad
what?
pets?
See Superman based entirely on crypto, even though they've said that's not his damn dog. That's Supergirl dog or Superwoman or whatever they're making her. I have no idea. I don't even really care about any of it, but I want to see the dog because I got emotional when he He's on the ice and he's whistling.
What?
And here he
Super
comes and
good.
he's
Gosh.
dragging him with the by the cape, and I literally got teary-eyed. I was like, oh, I gotta see that now.
Yeah.
He's not even a major character.
Well, that
but-
seems more like his dog with that scene. Crypto's always been Supergirl's dog. She had the cat, Streaky,
Well,
and the
it's
horse.
been confirmed because Mr. Gunn has talked about it, but the dog is actually Supergirl's, and he's dog sitting.
Hmm.
Oh,
Tony, you just rang
you're
the
starting
bell.
way into this universe then.
Tony just rang the bell. Look at that. So,
Yay.
yep, he nailed it on the head. Neo, in the story, the kid Neo, not the adult Cardinal later, is in jeopardy. There is a satanic cult, and they do have nasty things in mind. And the tease of being a good writer, I think, at least in my mind, for me, is to literally make a reader worry how far I'm going to push this. How far is it going to push this? And the end is a climax, and you got to remember that's over someone getting killed on a battlefield who was ripped in two. That's over a sexual assault that was stopped in the nick of time by the Cardinal. Like there are climactic points in the story, and I'm like, it's got to be bigger. You can't end a roller coaster on a wussy hill. If you do, you're like just a wussy. You got to end it on your biggest hill and then shock everybody, and boom, you're done.
So
At
you're
least
like,
in
how
my-
much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But do you know the rest?
Yeah.
There's another part of that. Woodchuck could chuck as much wood as woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
You know what? I think that's just in the Canadian version.
But
So
there's the part that everybody knows, and then there's a second part to it. Just like Peter Piper, there's a second part to it.
the comic world has kept me very busy and distracted from all the world
Dear
insanity.
God.
And while some of that insanity has been the whole crash and burn of NUCG, a lot of it's been good stuff too. There's a lot of good things happening in indie comics right now that I think I'm not going to jump on, but other people are jumping on. There's a couple of weird things, like I found myself reminding myself that God is in control, not Mr. Tamulevich. That's me, by the way, guys. I just doxed myself, but it's okay. My name's in all my books.
Yeah. Well,
Gonna be
one
very
good thing that's happening in indie comics is on July 5th, the Canadian Shield 3 is launching.
That is pretty good. At noon Eastern Standard Time. I wanted to ask, what do you do if they're like
Yes.
Eastern Standard Time?
And it's going to be over on Dillert's channel.
Oh, that's a bigger audience than you get. Not to offend you, I'm just
Yeah.
saying I know. It's like, oh, that sounds like
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it over there. Hoping to get a bigger audience to start off with a bit more funds. Everybody on my channel already knows.
I'm trying to get on Joe Rogan. I'm kidding. I'm not getting on Joe Rogan. I might try, but nobody gets on there like just because they said, hey, have me on, Joe. I'm a great conversationalist. And I'm not one of those guys who would go, Joe, I got a podcast too, brother. We should do this one time. I'll introduce you to my friends. You introduce me to yours. I have evolved, though. I used to tell Diana to go get Oprah. That's kind of scary, all this stuff coming up. But P. Diddy looks like they're dropping a couple of big charges against him. So Hollywood is winning again.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you what, the perverts in this country, it's like having big holes in a ship that you keep having to fix. And you think you just got one patched up, and there's a senator over there doing this, and there's a pop star over there doing that, and it's not good, none of it. And it's like, oh goodness gracious. I had somebody, a foreigner, mock me today for being pro-American. I said, you got to understand, I love my America, the America I believe in, the America I know exists in the people. I said, I'm not always proud of the government, and I know that our government has done some shit. But there is a spirit in America that I can't imagine living without. And I know it exists nowhere else but America because we have the craziest shit, but it's such a life, you know?
Yeah. Hopefully, no matter what your country does, you can somewhat be proud of it being whatever, you know, like for you, an American, being Canadian, you know. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of times you don't like what your government's doing.
I don't think I've ever said I'm not proud to be an American. And I think the only time I've said I wasn't proud of America was in the context of the government and the politics.
Yeah.
But the American people, like, I've been through a couple of hurricanes, and you know, I've seen people go to bat for strangers. I've seen people fight to help other people. I've seen a woman in Massachusetts mail a man in Florida $100. She took a collection and sent him $100. That's right.
Yep. True story.
Yeah, that was before her and I were sucking face.
Yeah. Wonder who that man was.
Uh-huh.
Well, we started off as good Christian friends online, you know. That was and that was as far as we were going to go, and whoops.
And that was as far as we were going to go. Is that what you said?
We were just going to be friends online, and it just
Yeah.
she was the seductress. I had no choice.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't even.
She was like Lilac the Enchantress.
All right. Moving right along.
So for those who don't know, which is
Are
everybody,
you talking about your two's relationship?
I
Yeah.
was teaching about that, yes. But Lilac is a new character introduced in the final chapter of Darkness Dies.
Yeah.
And if you watched the video with the sneak art for the backers, there's a brunette in a very skimpy bikini type outfit. That's actually her super suit. And yeah, she is pure lust driven. Like, I was thinking Marvel's Enchantress, but sluttier. And because the Cardinal has a mature rating, I played up to it as far as I could without like having nudity. And she definitely looks the part.
Yeah.
Very, very. I'm careful of how I
I
phrase
have a
this.
character that's sort of.
Say what?
I have a character that's sort of just the opposite.
She turns people off.
Virgo.
So she turns. them off?
She has a power that, you know, you get within like 3 or 10 feet of her and you just become really apathetic. She's gorgeous and all that, but, you know, guys, you know, get within 3 to 10 feet of her and they're like, whatever.
They become impotent.
You know, so any guy trying to ask her out
becomes disinterested. Gets
Yeah.
close and says, "You were a lot prettier 6 feet away." That's sad.
But he
but that's
doesn't
your
even not say
man.
that. He's not.
So she's a Tinder date. Good
Oh my
evening,
God.
Herman.
You guys are so crazy. How did we get here?
Yes, actually, if you're talking about Lilac,
Hey,
it's
Herman.
not really a thong. It's more like a
Herman.
it's more like a handkerchief wrapped around a belt thing. And I did, you know, photo reference it from Google. I looked up I looked up nasty bikinis, and there were some. Hey Tim, there were some that were nastier, but I didn't want to do the strip club thing. You know,
What
like
the heck did you? What are we talking about?
everything. Welcome to the
This,
comic
that,
book.
and the other thing.
I was talking
what
about
did I just? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Lilac is a character introduced in the last chapter of the Darkness Dies graphic novel, and I was just explaining how she's basically Marvel's Enchantress but sluttier, but not so slutty that like I drew her naked or anything. She's in a very revealing bikini, but she's not. I didn't want to get an X rating, Tim. I'm a serious man.
So she's not as scantily clad as, say, Vampirella.
Right. And she's certainly not adult Conan the Barbarian. She would be Marvel Comics Conan the Barbarian, which when they started rating it was about a teen. And the language would certainly make the book mature anyways. But I don't know, man. I've never been one who likes naked drawings of people. Because I'm like, we live in the 20th, well, it was 20th century when I was younger. We live in the 20th century and there are pictures. Why would I want to look at someone's stupid drawing? Get me a camera. That was my thought. You could go, when I was a kid, you went to the store and you talked to the cashier to get you that dirty book behind the counter. And they always sold you one just as soon as everybody was out of the store. Sorry, I just ratted all those cashiers out, but that was how it was in my town when I was growing up. And, the other way you'd get them is you'd steal them from your older relatives, your uncles.
Or you'd go to the mall and you'd find them like the Penthouse or Playboy, and then you'd find another magazine and you'd put it inside that magazine and act like you're not looking at naked women.
Yep.
You have to find the one that's already open, so therefore you're not tampering with anything.
What was great though, Tim? Do you remember when things started getting high tech, and we got cable, and you could watch porn on it for free, even though it was scrambled, so everything was twisted.
Yes.
You could hear all the nastiness, and you'd just see like weird patterns in the screen.
Now, do you know the key of actually getting
You scrunch your eyes enough,
pretty
you can
much.
see,
Did you know how the secret to actually getting seeing the picture almost perfect? Just the color's a little off.
Well, the
bigger the
secret was
TV,
just to send,
the bigger. Okay, right.
It was just to buy it, right? Like you could buy it, but
No. What it is? No, don't be a chump. The bigger the TV, the more likely the better the picture will come in.
Oh yeah, I believe that. I could never afford anything bigger than a 13-inch when I was growing up, because that's what I inherited. We had bigger in the living room, but if you're watching that stuff in the living room, you're a bad person, because somebody gonna catch you, and it's nasty.
Well, you always had to have a lookout, and you always had. Now, the trick to watching stuff, take it from me, I know how to do this. The trick of getting away with watching stuff you're not supposed to, is you keep the volume down so only you can hear it, and then you flip up one channel and then hit previous channel, go back to the channel you're of the thing you're not supposed to watch. And what you do when you hear it, when they're coming down the steps, not down the hallway, when they're coming down the hallway, you hit the previous channel to the other channel, and then you go up one. So when they grab the remote from your hands, they start flipping like, why is the volume down? But why is the volume down? You're watching this. And none of the wiser. I used to get away with watching Beavis and Butthead at my grandma's house.
I didn't ever have to get that bad, but then again, we didn't have remotes. It was like, I'm about 10 years behind you. That's why. I mean, we had remotes, but like my family didn't have remotes. We couldn't afford that stuff.
Yeah, you got to game the system, brother.
I was the antenna remote. Like when the football game was on, guess who had to get up and adjust those rabbit ears? And believe me, everybody in the living room was like, to the left, a little more. No, stop, no more. And you're like wiggling these things, trying to get a good signal. Or cable.
Well, we had basic television. My grandmother is the one that had cable for the longest time. Eventually we got cable.
I remember though when cable
we had cable for a little bit in my house, but eventually it became too expensive and said, forget it.
Yeah, and it's weird though in America, like Ted Turner was trying to make it an essential public service so that welfare would pay for it for everybody. It was like a very bizarre thing where, and they still do it. They assume everybody has access. You must have it at home or on your phone. You can do anything you need to online. Yes, technically, but if you're sitting there on a cheap Android phone from Walmart with Talk Minute cards, it's very difficult to do stuff online.
Not necessarily, not anymore, because they have Wi-Fi.
Well, if you still have,
too.
That's true. They have Wi-Fi, but
Yeah,
they
but
have access to that. Although every McDonald's, every Dunkin' Donuts, yeah, you're right. They think they can do it.
yeah, but if you only have like and there's people that do still buy a flip phone.
Yeah. Well, and even then,
You know, yeah, you
going
get the net on it, but there's not much you can do on it.
yeah, with a bad phone, a cheap phone, you might get a browser. Maybe you can even do everything they want you to, but like something that should take like 10 seconds might take 3 hours and time out, and then you have to refresh, and then you have to log in again. Yeah, it could be bad.
Yeah,
I
and then
was
that's
blessed-
a question
I
of.
was.
Go ahead,
I
Tim.
think I was. I would think I was blessed having parents that hated everything. Everything I was into was pretty much bad. So I had to kind of sneak what I wanted to listen to, when I wanted to read, and what I wanted to see. Yeah.
Like 3 years old, you were trying to get a hold of punk records, and you were trying to.
No, no, it was more. It was more than no. I was not at 3. No.
No, it's true. I looked it up on Google. I Googled your name.
You Googled
You
it.
were blogging.
Tim, was
Yeah,
it-
you were. blogging at
Oh
3
my
years old.
gosh. Stop. So guess what we
you had
watched
this-
the other night?
What'd you watch?
Raptor.
A movie.
Something. No.
Lord Raptor Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I saw you. I said,
Yeah.
"There's Tim. He's
Yeah.
talking. He's streaming.
You were in the chat.
You know, yeah,
Yep.
in the chat. Thank you. I couldn't quite get it out.
These
You
mother
did-
truckers. These mother truckers be talking all that shit.
I couldn't quite get into him. I didn't quite get into him.
Oh yeah.
I
he's
mean,
a
he
char-
was okay, but
it's
it's
a,
just
it's a
like,
character. I kind
yeah, and
of.
I'm like, I couldn't understand. I'm like, wait, is he who's talking, Chris? What's going on? So Chris
And I'm like, it's
explained
the
to me,
same
I'm like,
guy.
oh,
He's just bouncing between 2 personas. It's all an act.
right.
I
yeah.
kind of think it's almost like the character's almost like one of those like those revival preachers.
Yep.
Mhm.
You think? Yeah, it almost has that kind of quality, but it's like a parody of that. Only it's making
Okay.
fun of all the drama, all the stupid things that CG does.
But I told her if you can follow what he's saying, you'll get everything you need to know about the current CG situation, because
Right.
he'll lay it out, and I love what he does, because he'll be like, yeah, those guys are still laying up for their books. It's actually 5 years. And they went down and they had comments about this, but they're really 5 years late on those books. Like he'll do these the secondary voice, and he'll tuck in little nuggets, And you got to be quick. You got to be quick, chat, because you don't know what's going on. They're going to try to stop us, chat. But I'm not doing it. He screams,
Oh yeah. Well, he's more understandable,
It just was
more
very different.
understandable than what Shane does. Shane's not funny.
No.
When he does it, it's not funny. It's like
Diana.
Yes.
It's like
Look at the chat.
Diana, when are we going to see you both again?
between
Oh
Ned
yeah.
and Bert.
So
Yeah,
listen,
no.
the link will be in the chat. We have pictures on Facebook. No, teasing totally.
I think Chris wants to. We're planning next week some point before the 4th of July. When are you guys doing Mantown? Are you doing it Tuesday or Wednesday? Because that's pretty much when we come. So you got to let Chris know when Mantown is next week, and then we'll plan it for next week.
I told her was, as soon as I know, I'll tell you, and I know because I see it in the chat.
Yeah, so
We did-
that I just said. Just
We did
decide
consider
is
going
it
to-
Tuesday or Wednesday for next week,
But
and I
this
can
week-
plan around it with the
and
week
so
coming.
is us. And I'm actually chumming away on the book like you wouldn't believe.
I think we were talking about Lord Raptor, and I think his appeal is almost like Testify, only it's
Yeah.
more. It's less. He's less abrasive.
Well, he's
Yeah.
certainly better at making it feel like he's trying to do comedy, even if you don't think it's funny. His approach
It's not
to
that
it.
I just didn't get a lot of it because I've never watched him before. I think it was all right. I mean, it was fine, but
Well, it's elementary. I mean, you just yell at the mic a little bit, and then you come back really quiet and you say something that makes sense. But who wants to do that all night? He does. he's good at it too.
Right?
Well, he's
I
good
mean-
at- sometimes he's blown his voice has gone out, so he had to.
Mhm.
He had to, you know.
I can't imagine. I mean, that
I
almost hurt
think
my
it's.
speaking up like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I don't know. It's I think I got into watching this show at the right moment. It was last year in December when EBS kind of decided to turn the guns on us and start to, and you know, and now he's just like he's like F small creators, they all can go to hell.
Uh-huh.
This week he's very upset, and I kind of want to take partial blame, but he's very
Wow.
upset at small creators who have looked at him and said, "So what? You drew Green Lantern, you drew the Flash. Good for you." Okay. You know, we're all making our own books. We go through not the same struggles, but struggles just as well, you know? And when
Right.
we hear grift going on, we do get a little offended. Sorry, dude. It's like when you watch a
Well,
professional
calling us
player talking
are
about,
calling us zeros, and I don't know. I have never heard anybody say you didn't promote me enough. I've never heard anybody say that.
Right.
But I
it's
get
kind
so
of-
tired of that, man.
it's a straw man because he doesn't want to be promoted unless it's word of mouth. He wants people to say, "Hey, go back my book, go back." He's not interested in what we're doing because I'm not like, oh, I got to tell you, Outcast Comics about 5 months ago did a show about us, Diana.
Oh, really?
When I went looking for Tim's Melvin video, the 30-second opening thing that he did for him,
Yeah.
I found a show. I didn't get to watch it all. I just got to kind of click in it. And but yeah, he was talking about our book. He was complimentary. He
You didn't
knows about
promote me enough.
I feel bad
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm like, give me something to play, dude. I'll play whatever you got promoting you. You know, we do 30 minutes before the show, and I'm filling it up with Canadian Shield and Melvin and Darkness Dies. That's the three things. Oh, and Hunter and Eric. There are
Yep.
2 books.
How dare you?
Other than that, oh, and one more, Atomic Comics. But I've been trying to get them to come on. I don't know. They might be a little shy. And I don't know. Maybe I scare them because I approach every creator with a lot of enthusiasm. You know, I'm like, encourage, support, and try to help people grow. And
You know,
that's
I was
not
I was really inspired by the camaraderie at that Heroes Con.
You know what? I was too, because we've lived that. Like when you go to a con, that will happen regardless if you're not surrounded by jerks. But I got to
Right.
tell you, every con we've been to, we've been reasonably blessed and had cool people around us. Some we've gone to dinner with, had drinks with, whatever. Some you just have a good weekend with. You see them every day. In the morning, it's like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, it was good yesterday. Yeah, not bad. The 4-day cons are the weirdest because it's like camping next to somebody. Like you start like, hey, Eddie, my wife's going to the convenience stand up there. You want a soda? No,
It's
I'm
true.
good. I got water. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
Well,
community.
I haven't been to a 4-day con, but I've been through to a 3-day con.
Well, I gotta tell you, the 4-day is not that big of a deal because you end up doing Thursday night for like, it's not a real thing. It's only open for like an hour and a half, and you're there for the biggest ticket spenders. It was actually at the casino. So like if they bought the special tickets to get through everything, they had like an hour or two to come see the early people who showed up. And then Friday night there was an opening for a limited crowd, and then it's all day Saturday, all day Sunday. That's how they were doing it, at least.
I forget the 3-day
Like
one.
Go ahead.
3-day one I went to was in Saskatoon. I forget what. I think we were there all day Friday or most of the day Friday, and of course
know.
all day Saturday.
We
Sunday.
got Plasticon coming up, and that's really about it till our thing in Athol. But it's good because I've needed this time. I've gotten sick a couple of times, and I think it would have drained me. I've had some issues Sometimes just walking will wind me. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but pneumonia is the actual current biggest one.
Right.
And
So
I just
I
don't.
hear you're. Go ahead.
No,
I
I'm
don't know
done.
who
What were you saying?
I should
So
be
I hear
ordering
you're
some-
gonna see the creator of Melvin at that Plasticon. You think he's gonna be a nice guy?
I hope
You know,
so.
I heard he's a
I hear
jerk.
it for a long time, but yeah, I heard he got banned from the last two he went to. He was
Yeah.
handing out handshakes. Yeah, did you guys not? So when you're at a convention now, be careful who you offer a handshake to.
Oh, I'm gonna handshake the hell out of everybody.
I'm going to be very careful. I don't want to offend the meek and the
What?
weak. Well,
What?
Shane Davis got very upset because an old friend of his offered a handshake twice at a convention, and he felt intimidated by it, I believe. And they have had some issues online, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on in their heads. I can't pretend to know, but
That actually got me the idea for the next Zed and Odysseus story that I'm gonna do. They're you remember that movie Viper?
vaguely.
So yeah, I wanted a character that was like that. Only he deals out handshakes and justice.
Okay, was it a movie or a TV show or what?
It was Sylvester. I think it was a movie by starring Sylvester Stallone. I think.
All right, hang on. Viper, not Cobra. Cobra with the Dodge Viper, maybe.
Maybe I thought there was a. Hold on.
There was a TV series Viper, which I don't think Tim's talking about,
It's mostly based on the
which
the
involved the
skit.
car.
There was a skit that kind of inspired the idea too. But yeah, it's Cobra. I guess they changed it for the SNL skit.
It's funny how cool I thought he was.
So anyway, I wanted a character that was like that. Only he's got like a holster and there's a glove in it.
A glove?
A glove in the holster. So he goes, "You're gonna tell us what we want to know about the drug smuggling operation, or else." And he's like, "No, not that." He's like putting on the glove. And he grabs the hand, starts shaking it. No, don't shake my hand. Ah.
Okay, I'm down with that. You
Or
know I
maybe,
love
like,
satire.
or maybe when he's like trying to shake someone's hand, you hear a gun clicking like it's a weapon.
Hey,
I
there
don't-
can just be a mystery about the glove, you know.
I don't know.
Scared.
I wanted to kind of also be like that Harvey Birdman episode where guitars were scarier than guns.
Guitars? You know what? I haven't seen enough of any of those. Really.
Oh, it was that character when Quick Draw McGraw becomes El Kabong and he has a guitar. He was caught illegally concealing a guitar.
Huh.
Yeah. Who's paying for his
Oh,
defense?
come on!
Who's paying for his defense? The guitar lobby.
Oh, like the gun lobby. I get it.
Yeah.
Did the guitar win?
I have no idea. I just know it's funny. I said how no one was scared of a handgun, but they were all scared of a guitar. What?
That's what happened.
El Kabong and Baba Louie.
Baba
Yeah.
Louie. Did they
Well,
shut up
anyway,
Canada?
I'm gonna have to
That was
toy
El
around-
Kabong's sidekick.
I'm gonna have to
What?
toy around with the idea for a bit.
And why did Hunter put scared? What did I miss?
Oh,
Scared.
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 Oh, scared.
We were talking about handshakes and being scared about the
Oh,
handshakes.
scared. Scared, like in scared.
Yeah, don't be
Oh,
scared.
God. I am so bad tonight.
Yeah, but that comment was about 5 minutes ago, so I don't think it had anything to do with
Oh,
our present conversation.
We're gonna roll back and make sure we're covering all the topics. And
well, I did. That's why I'm like.
I don't know if
"Dang,
there's really a topic. He was overly incensed about a handshake. and that's why it's funny to me. He thought that was threatening. I'm like, I have never heard somebody be threatened by a handshake. He's like, he's gonna give me a handshake.
Well, here's the little
Please
thing
don't
about
touch me.
I'll bet you 9 to 1 that
Oh, that
Frack like watch me get his goat.
he was scared about coming on.
But why would he play into? Why would he? Why the best way to handle that would have been to shake his hand and be like, "What's up, Danny?" Like you don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. People don't.
The
know
funny thing is, Mandy Summers was talking about how he has thousands of fans, and I thought to myself, but they didn't. Yeah, he's surrounded by all his friends and his thousands of fans, and like they didn't show up for the convention though.
Well, the thing is, a lot of fans don't go to conventions. A lot of people who have my books didn't go to a convention to get them, and so it's almost like two different markets. They're related. Don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of people who do crowdfunding that you will not catch going to a convention because someone like EBS has told them it smells like a farm. It's disgusting. If you're at a big convention and it's overloaded, yeah, it can be bad. But most of the shows, most of the conventions we've been to, I'd say 80% of them have been pretty decent air-wise. A couple in the summer, you might run into one where it's
I gotta ask Herman, really? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, will it what? You said will it?
I was just gonna say, to Herman's comment, is it really handshakes for the DQ?
Yeah.
I don't
John
know.
and Porter.
To me, if anybody's a fan of anything, and they want to meet the person that they're the biggest fan of, wouldn't they bother to show up in mass if they wanted an autograph or a chance to meet their favorite writer or artist or whatever?
Well, it's there. No, yes and no.
Well, it
but
depends.
Eric July's fans.
It depends on
show
how
up.
far you have to go to, Tim.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Eric July's fans show up.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Shane's fans are more. I'm just going to say it again, more crowdfunder and not so much comic conventioners.
Yeah, well, it kind of means that to me, it kind of means that their fan base is all online, which means it's not really I don't know. I really think if your fan base is all online, then you really don't have that strong a fan base.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but it's a different beast. It might be strong, but it might not be too. I don't know. Oof.
Oh, Herman,
Yeah,
like
and
Eric,
you could have a huge.
Mm.
You could say you have a huge fan base, but maybe it's all in Australia, and you're in America.
Well, then
Kind
you'd
of
go
hard
to
for your
Australia.
fans to get to you.
Well, then you'd go to Australia,
Yeah.
wouldn't you? There you go.
I don't know.
But can you
John
afford to go to Australia?
John Byrne has
Maybe
been visited for like the last 40 years, and I haven't gone and visited. But that person would tell me to get the hell away from him, even though I would be like, Master Byrne, please show me how to sharpen my pencil.
Oh, what a long day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like watching Lord Raptor Jesus' show.
I enjoyed the stream we watched. I don't know if I could handle him more than once a week. I don't know. It depends what he's talking about because he can be really funny. But he had one of the problems, and I think if I was to talk to him, I would tell him this. He's got to do something about mastering the audio because when they go from video to him and then from him to secondary him, and then they bring in someone like Pan, I feel like Pan needs to be boosted about 25%, and then it would be more even.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm sure he'd like to get some feedback. All I know is like I was disillusioned by CD, and
But I mean, wait a minute. So what happens, right? Is Pan will be on, and Pan is dropping some of his Pan wisdom, and he's talking kind of low, so you turn up your TV, And then Lord Raptor comes on and goes, what the heck did you do about that? And it's like,
So, as somebody who was listening to it, like, wasn't really watching it, I was doing other stuff. I found it annoying, but I suppose if you were watching and listening and, you know, the whole and understanding the conversation, it probably, because Chris was laughing. So it was very funny for some people. And that's okay. I mean, I'm not knocking the guy. I mean, I think it's great, especially if he has a solid bunch of people that enjoy watching him. I know, and I don't know if he streams every night. I don't know what his streaming is like.
You have to understand some of the jokes too.
You know, and I have to understand the joke. A lot of it was like, I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. And so Chris would be trying to fill me in, but you know, I don't. It doesn't really stay in my head because it's not something I'm super interested in.
He makes fun of Katie a lot because she was into that certain gross fan fiction.
Yeah.
So instead of saying what she is, they just kind of make fun. They go, "What the dog doing?" or yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he explained some of it to me, and I'm like, okay, but I suppose it's funny.
And I guess, I guess it was revealed that I guess John Malin may or may have not been separated. He got divorced from his wife, so they made a joke about the shelter and the bunker, and he might not make it through the night, and they have him, putting a certain gun in his mouth, listening to the Good Charlotte.
Yeah, DA does that one, right? He's the voice in that one.
Yeah, when Dean was on the show, yeah.
And I'm sorry.
And of course he's got this ongoing joke about how he hates the witches.
I didn't know that.
And of course, Carol flips the tables. It's like, so we got all the coins, we got all the receipts, and we got all the tables.
It's a crazy world, brother.
Like I said, he's funnier, a little more easy to digest. He's a little more digestible than Testify.
Right.
Testify.
That's a good way to put it.
But
that's a good way
to go too far. Like, he would always go too far. Like, he would be funny at first.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he's got like some person in the corner cowering, freaking out, and he's like badgering them, and it's, oh, good Lord, dude. Come on, take a chill pill.
Oh, hey, easy with the camera there, buddy.
What's that? What's going on?
Are you growing mutton chops or something, Rick? Are you trying to grow like mutton chops? Try to look like one of those British thugs. And go, oi!
I think it's just.
Give you a good bashing, we will.
I just think it's the lighting where I am, and I'm on my phone, so I move my phone. My hand gets uncomfortable, and I move my phone.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm finally getting side beard.
I told his grandson
to tell him,
Chris. Yeah, I told his grandson to tell him to cut his hair. I want his haircut. I'm tired of long hair.
Yeah. Anyway, next week I should start ordering some merch for the convention. I'm going to be having a banner made.
Oh, good. Awesome.
I'm bringing in a live band.
You're gonna son of a bitch. You had to outstage me. You had to outstage me. I'm gonna have to give you such a handshake.
For lunch, we're having a little bit of pyrotechnics.
Such a liar.
Diana, he's upstaging me. I don't like it.
No, he's not doing anything. I'll be lucky if he even shows up. He's such a pain in the butt when it comes to that stuff. He's trying to be the third Zayd brother. Yeah. Oh my God.
He ends up being just the fourth stooge.
The fourth stooge?
No, I'm sorry, the fifth stooge.
6.
No, man.
There were 5 Stooges.
Were there 5
All
stooges?
3 of them only ever appeared at one time. Larry, Curly, Shemp, Joe, and Mo.
Oh, Shep was a replacement, and Curly left, and they replaced him with Shep.
No, they replaced him with Joe.
When did they replace? Who's Joe?
Joe is the one between Curly and Shep.
Okay, that's enough out of you, Mister.
Because Joe looked a little bit like Curly.
Oh, did he?
He had the bald head. He was fat.
Did people walk up and slap him in the head for no reason, like they did Curly? That's one of the biggest
Maybe.
reasons why he
I
quit.
forget.
That's the
There
reason why he
wasn't a
quit.
lot with Joe in, from what I know, but there was 5 Stooges. Larry, Curly, Shemp, Joe, and Mo. And of course,
There were
Larry,
four Marx
Curly,
brothers.
and Mo. No. Larry, Curly, and Mo were the most famous, followed by Shemp, and Joe was the least famous.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
But they were kind of screwed most of their career. They got shafted pay wise. They got tricked into bad contracts. They just wanted a steady check. They get quite the fortune that you might think. You know, we look back and we're like, Three Stooges, one of the biggest acts of Americana. No, not really. Not for them.
Okay, later, Herman.
Good
Bye,
night, bro.
Herman.
I hope your book is doing well. We need to talk about that sometime.
Yeah, I gotta listen to his book too. He
Does
was
it-
nice enough a few weeks ago to give them
Oh,
to
an
me.
audio.
Some audio copies, yeah.
That's nice. Audiobooks are nice.
They are
Are they in
actually.
English?
Yes.
I got a whole bunch in some, I don't know what it was. It was Swahili or something.
What?
Did you?
I got a bunch of books in Swahili and they were free, but I couldn't understand them.
When?
It was like 18 years ago.
That's when you act like you can read them.
It was when that guy was doing the free book thing. Remember, we knew a guy that was trying to get us to buy into
Oh,
free
yeah.
books, and
Yeah.
it was weird.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
were approached because of our internet design stuff, but we
Right.
didn't really want to get involved in it at all because it was like, hey, Rick, Tim, I figured out a way to can air and sell it, and people will buy it.
Yeah.
You know, you want to get in? You give me $50
Right.
bucks, I'll get you 500 by next Friday.
Right.
With yeah, man, people buying this air up. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm telling you, but yeah, trust me, I'll get you some money. And you do that with enough people, and you're just running away. You know, everybody's giving you 50 bucks, and you leave town. You know, $5,000. You go to the next town, do the same scam. Snake oil. You know, that's how it used to be.
You're so
Yeah.
That's how
funny.
it's going to be. In the book, I have all these ideas that I want to like. I want to bring Cyclopean and the team down to a street level on certain things. So I want to have like street level crimes happening. That could be one of them.
Right.
The snake oil type salesman, you know?
Nowadays, you make a character called Rainbow Brute.
All depends on how you spell it, I guess.
Rainbow
I know-
Fruit?
Rainbow Brute.
Yes, the parody of Rainbow Brute is now Rainbow Fruit.
You know, I people like like Shadowhawk and whatnot. I like those guys. I really do. I really just wish they'd open up their eyes and see that CG is a load of crap, and EBS does not care about their books or what they're doing what bid.
Well, I think
You
the
want-
real like this CG isn't a bunch of crap. It's that at the head there's a bunch of crap. You know, like at the very top of CG, it gets really, really crazy. Now, that's not to say everybody in CG is really cool and they're just all stuck under the dark shadow of the Empire. But it is to say that there's enough going on. Like I talked today about Aaron Lopresti with someone who really adores the guy. And apparently he's a great guy. And I'm like, well, it's a shame that he's tied to Evan because that is like a total deal breaker with me. I don't want to be friends with someone who
I'm talking about these low level guys. These that they parrot everything EBS says like it's gospel, and
Yeah.
that's how they think. That's how you have to be. And it's like, are you people not grown adults? Can you not think for yourself?
Well, they didn't when he said block or else I'm going to block you because they didn't want to get taken off his timeline. That's like when Nintendo says, if you make games for our system, you can't make them for the Genesis. I know they don't say that anymore, but they were trying to say that back in the day. Exclusive licensing. So Ethan came out and said, yo, if I see these anti-CGers because you're subscribed to me, I'm going to block you. So you better block them first. And a lot of them did. And it's like, oh my gosh, you just fell for the biggest power play. Now you're like literally letting another person who you don't even talk to, you want to talk to him, but he never acknowledges you. You just let him lead your whole your whole X experience.
One of the they think that quality takes time. They parrot that point a lot. Eric July, he sucks because EVS says so. Even though it's proven that if you kiss his ass, EVS thinks you're awesome. But the moment
here's a couple of things. The longer you take on art in general, the better it will be. But when you're talking comic book art, you're talking about a limited size of paper. If you look at his stuff, it's just very thin lines that he's drawn a million times. He's got skill, he's got talent, but what he's doing all this detail on, nobody can really answer because it's a comic book, man. And you're selling it like a comic book. When you're selling it, you're not going, hey, Rick, I want you to give me some money in the hope of getting a comic. Now, I might deliver it in 3 or 4 years, but you're funding the ability for me to make that comic. They don't sell it like that. He's like, hey, get in now. We're selling issue 29 of Toad Parts, and get in now. The book is hot. We're doing it. It's all a bunch of how you spin it.
Yeah, but by the time you actually get it, it'll be so cold you'd think it was ice.
Yeah, well, isn't that a problem? Sometimes I get books, and I'm like, oh crap, I did order this book 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
You don't order food that way.
No, you don't. You don't order anything that way.
Hey, give me some money, and I might make the steak. You might get it, you might not get it. And 5 years later, you get served steak out of nowhere.
Well, how about finding out you're not getting it because you ordered the cinnamon butter and he doesn't feel like making it because he's been stressed out. So you're just going to have to wait until he feels like making the cinnamon. He's got the steak, but you got to wait because he's got to give you cinnamon butter too. That's what he's doing with head sketches. I guess he's got these head sketch cards that he's supposed to be doing.
Oh my gosh.
He got offended because somebody said that they were piss poor. I still didn't see it. We looked at it and I was like, I'd be happy with that. That's a good enough sketch, But people weren't happy. Go ahead.
I agree. Quality takes time, but not that much time for Heck, look, Chris is doing a 186-page book, 190-page book, and EVS does what, an 80-page book, and it takes him 10 times as long to put it out.
Well, and I did learn to appreciate more time now. Now that I'm all the way to the end of this book, I'm glad because when I go back and look, the pages just thin now. I can't wait for people to get their hands on this thing. It's just, it's beautiful. It's magnificent.
Well, everything. That's not my point. My point is that they parrot all the stuff he says without even any
knowing.
Because unfortunately, as much as they're CG, they're just parrots. They're just followers.
Well, that's the
I'm
thing.
CG.
That's the thing. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's he wants you. He says I don't care about expanding the movement. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to he doesn't want to add on to the movement. He wants everybody just to support him, and not make books.
At least
that's what he said.
At least now, anyways. Now he doesn't care.
Of course, but
maybe he did in the past. I can't say he didn't.
Well,
he might say he didn't, but I think he did at some point. But now, no.
No, I really don't think he ever really did.
Well, Tim, Rick, myself, other people like us, even people like Rick Embry, enough small people are turning their noses up to him with a finger in the air that he's like lost that. Like he knows that now he's better off saying, "I don't care about those stupid indie guys that don't make any money really, anyways." He actually said that too. He was talking about how Luke should let him have 3 campaigns, even though the policy is like 1 and 1, the way he's got it set up. And he's like sounding entitled. Well, I should do it because I have earned it. I've done dozens of campaigns. Yeah, but the ones that count, you're always late on. Like it doesn't count if you've got 500 old 90s Cyberfrog books in the garage that you put on sale, through an Indiegogo. That doesn't count as the same thing as you're making a book. If you're just running old stuff through the mill, okay, that's great.
Book in the here and the now.
But if we're waiting on like 2 pages and it's taking the last 6 months of the 3rd year that you've been waiting, that gets old, bro. That gets old. At least John Malin knows how to put a page that's like nearly all black and just put a dialogue box on it and spin it. Aha, I gotcha. Aha.
I just think that's why I asked one time on that poll, is CG a lie? And I think it is.
Yeah.
Because the people running, I mean, you can be like the example all you want, like I tried to be. It doesn't matter. EBS wants you just to back him and give him money. If you kiss his ass, he'll give you a platform to use, and then he'll say how great your book is. The moment he doesn't like what you're saying, all of a sudden your book is terrible. Exhibit A, Isom. Eric July was kissing his ass. The moment he wasn't kissing his ass, it's a terrible book.
Well, it was kind of funny because I don't know. I kind of knew that wasn't an alliance that was going to work because they're both kind of alpha dogs. And I was just wondering how that was going to go.
Right.
And sooner or later, I knew something would happen. I just didn't think it would be like, now we're on the 4th year of Trashcast. Actually, I think it's just been a year. I don't know. But, like he developed this whole hate show about Yellow Flash and Eric. But I remember it as being about Eric. I know Yellow Flash.
I believe I was on one of those episodes.
Well, I know that Diana and I, in our early Trash Cash days, and we watched like the first 3 weeks, we sent a couple of super chats, and I clipped them because I thought they were funny because we actually got him to talk about the Cyclopean twice on his show.
Yes, the Cyclopean.
Yeah. But it was like, you know what? It became so worthless because after like the 3rd week, we were like, so what's he talking about tonight? Well, he says it's going to be really funny. They're talking about Isom again. Yeah. And Eric said bidness. No, not bidness. Bidness. Yes, bidness with a D. Oh, it's funny.
I mean, I think you get my point about how I feel about Comicsgate now. I mean, I just don't understand. I just don't understand how people can they're so stuck in being part of it that they don't realize that the head of this movement does not give a shit about them.
Well, it's all gonna eventually it comes to everybody. Yeah. I think everybody who first encounters Ethan, he has enough charm where we all go, I'll listen to you for a little bit. And then once you do, you're like, wait a minute, why are you calling your cars Master what? That's, and that's another thing right now I don't think Diana's aware of, but she might be, because I told her Fun My Comic is allowing him on, and there's a lot of concerns from outsiders about that because he's doxed customers. He's got this campaign with cars still open on Indiegogo.
Oh, he did that to Pan. He did that to his mother.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting because I don't think Luke will put up with his shenanigans.
Well, so far Luke has, and I'll be honest, I understand if he can get someone like Ethan to hit a 6 or 7 figure campaign on his cheap little website, suddenly it made sense. Now he can really buy his family a house or some stability. I get it. He's a businessman, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little blown away by it. I'm like, oh man, it's like when your favorite football team signs the criminal of the NFL, or your favorite band is coming to town, but you just found out he married his wife when she was 16. Oh,
Or-
what?
or
Like it's
he-
like, oh,
They let Michael Vick back in the league.
yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just these little things.
But you know,
yes,
for
Rick?
me, you know, like I'd say I'm for the most part, I'd say I'm still CG. Do I yell from the rooftops? No, but in some ways, at the same time, it's becoming a non-existent thing. I must
I was like-
admit, you know,
Well,
because
Comicsgate is when you go to one of their pages, 9 out of 10 times they have the same kind of posts. They laugh at the same stuff. They're mocking the same Disney movies. They're
It's
laughing.
all
About,
yeah.
it's just, oh, you are pro Ethan and you are not, you know. And it's like, oh man, why?
Why do we
I-
even have to live? Why do we have to be under hashtags? You know, there was indie comic books before Comicsgate even existed, and there's going to be indie books after it's gone.
Guys, I'm gonna make a hashtag for us to go under, and we can be our own group.
Hashtag indie comics.
No, hashtag wannabes. I know we could join the hashtag groups. Get it? We could just make our own little.
We could call ourselves Zeros since that's what EVS calls all the small creators. We're all a bunch of zeros. And that's
Right.
another thing. That's like, why would anybody support this guy if he's referring to you, a person who wants to create books, as a loser?
Well,
Yeah.
it's almost, but isn't
And-
that
and-
like
but-
fuel for the fire? Like I love being criticized like that because
So I'm
Sorry,
not going to call
guys.
myself. I'm not going to follow. I'm not going to follow a movement of. But all right, he called me a loser. I'm going to follow that guy.
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm gonna catch up to him. And
well,
when I
obviously,
do-
I don't follow myself. I don't follow EVS. I just because I like the original ethics of Comicsgate.
Yeah, I get
I'm
that.
for
I
that.
get that.
That's why
Just
Well, you know,
like
that's why I'd say I still call myself Comicsgate. It's just, but you know,
just like
it's
Richard.
also Nothing Burger now.
Just like Rich.
go ahead,
ahead.
go ahead.
Just like Richard Embury, just like John Dillard, they all keep CG in their own way, and they're not following the crowd. They're just like, I'm Comicsgate, but I'm not gonna agree to everything like some kind of like brainless chicken.
They're like closeted Catholics. Hey, I'm CG, but I'm not coming to service today. I'm not going to mass.
They're non-practical. Like Dillard worked with Yellow Flash, and he's Comicsgate.
Well, you know, that's interesting because I would think so, and yet if you were to ask him or Ethan, they'd both deny it. You know, like
Yeah.
it's so stupid because some people go with the current and other people try to make their own current, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Eventually the current gets everyone.
blind acceptance is a sign for stupid fools who fall in line.
What just happened?
I made Rick
Where?
disappear.
No, I think he had to leave. I think he was waving and then boof.
Did he leave?
I think he
That's
did.
all right. It's 10:08. He might have. Let's see. Well, he was at his dad's, right?
Yeah, and he was outside.
I hope you guys don't mind my harsh critique on Comicsgate.
No,
I
no,
just-
no.
Because
I
honestly,
just don't understand. That's all.
I feel very much the same way, and it's a shame because there's so many people in there that I'm like intrigued by, and I'm just like, it's to a point, and it's the whole world really. But I'm so polarized. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to be bothered with it. And yet we see it every day. I comment every day. I'm
Yeah.
sure you do too. But
Yeah.
it's like not the thing it used to be. You know, like it used to be something I was curious about. Rick is trying to come back in. Will the Canadian connection work? It did. Welcome back, Rick.
Thank you very much.
It's like that's why I want to do conventions. I saw that the Heroes Con thing. I'm like, yes, that looks. They were having fun, and they were
Yeah.
promoting each other, and they were helping each other out, and it was. That's what I want to be a part of. You
Well,
know?
that's the way
Yeah,
they develop, man. It's just a cool world, and some guys are friendlier than others. Like the show we're at, the Plasticon. Keith Gleason, we became friends with him as fellow vendors, and he just has a show that he runs once a year. But like we started talking to him because we both showed up for a roadside comic book show with like 510s. And we were like two of the only comic book creators there. It was kind of great.
Yeah, I just they're networking. There's camaraderie. They go to dinner together. They go out and have a few beers.
See, that's where I was going to go with it, because that's what happened with Keith. We became buds. We met Johnny C through him, which is one of his best friends in the comic world, and we've been to. I think we went to Korean with them, and we did pizza too in another place.
Hopefully one day we'll all be able to meet Asmat.
Yeah, he'd be funny to meet. I've had problems with him at times, but not recently. And when I did, I think he was effing with me, and I finally got it.
Yeah, that's his nature. Like he'll be on stream and somebody will call him a duck, and it's like he'll see that as a racism. You cannot check your spears at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a good guy though, and I think he's been through a lot, and he's shown a lot of what they might call true grit.
Yeah,
And he's really short.
He's got a peanut head too.
Yeah. All right, we got a fan club going here for the last Matt.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's on my list of things I want. All three of the Fiendish books, and I want both the Road Warrior Drake books. Those are on my list of things I want.
Right.
What other books do I want? Cyclopedia for free.
You don't want to get Canadian Shield?
Yeah, that's on my list of things. But it's a long list.
What about Cyclopean?
Dude, you know what? I don't even care anymore, guys. I'm trying to sell it to like NBC and CBS. I want them to buy like 50.
What do you mean you don't care? What kind of foolishness is that?
I want big sales. I want to sell like
joking.
Dear God, he's not joking.
I want you to start calling governments. Like call the government.
I'm going to call it a night. That's what I'm going to call. I'm going to call it. I'm ready for bed.
Okay.
All right.
Guys, it's with great regret that we have come to the end of the show.
No, why do you put it on me? You can stay and talk all night long.
Because I'm just as tired as you are. I use you as the final bell.
Well, why do you have to do that?
Because you're
I had my grandson today, and he was so much fun, but he's almost 3-year-old. So he's a bundle of energy.
And he's grown. He grew like at least 3 inches. He's faster. And he's crazier with the dog, and I'm getting paranoid. I'm like, don't go anywhere near the stairs. And he's like, running on the corners, and I'm like, no. But he's
as fast as I used to be.
I don't know. He's funny because he'll fall, and he knows enough to cry. But if you don't respond, he's okay. He's okay. But then he throws temper tantrums sometimes. And I've found that the best way to deal with them is just kind of giggle. Like, are you upset that you can't play until you eat your food? Okay, well, we'll just wait.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Outcast, what's up, bro?
You got to teach them their manipulations won't work.
Yeah.
We are just us. It's like,
we're unusual grandparents. We're kind of crazy. I noted.
Hey, Cass, we were just talking about you.
Yeah, we were. When he walked in and her and I were talking, we instantly realized his favorite video game. So we instantly bought it because we're grandparents. We can do that.
Did you get the kids sugared up and send them home?
No.
You're supposed to do that.
So funny.
You're supposed to do that. It's vengeance.
We want him to have a happy life too. It's miserable if he's all sugared up. So, Outcast, I want to thank you for that show you did like 5 months ago that I apparently totally missed. But I found it tonight when I was looking for Tim's promo video that you did. And I was like,
which I also shared.
Yeah. So like, I'm not always all that smart. For
That's the
instance, I
mark.
thought easy pass meant I could just go faster. I had no idea it had anything to do with toll roads. Like, ooh, this is where you go to pass easily. Somebody's singing a good song.
I had dinner at Matt Jack in the Box. So
That's awesome, man. So, like, is this girl just singing in the dining room?
no, it's on their radio. They have
That's not as good, but it was kind of cool. I thought you had someone there singing, like just out of the blue, popping into a song.
no, Chris.
Oh, now there's music. When it was just a cappella, it was believable. Although the last time, Diana, where were we? We were at a restaurant, and there was a guy, one-man band, and he was phenomenal. He had all the gimmicks, the looping pedal to make the rhythms repeat and stuff. Diana's muted. Click that mute button, baby.
Probably because she's typing. You
I
told her to
was
mute while she typed.
I
could
was
hear
looking
her
up
talking.
something. Yeah, I know you could hear me in the other room. We were at the place in Gardner, the beer place there. What's it called? Brew Yard. No.
Wasn't
But
Gardner
that's where
either.
we were. No, it was in Gardner. It's over by Chase's house. It's the Gardner Ale House, I think it was. The Ale House. Remember?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
We were at the
We were back from somewhere, and we stopped there for dinner, and there was a one-man band in there.
yeah.
No, we were coming back from somewhere.
One band man.
Yeah, but he was
it's-
incredible. I've got
That
a
wasn't
picture
it?
of info. No, we were coming back from somewhere. I want to say maybe it was Steve's, or was it Mantown? Wouldn't be Mantown.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm drawing a blank.
Me
It might
too.
have been when we went to Fun Spot, but I thought we had a hotel that night.
No, it was definitely there.
Yeah, if you ever want to go out to Fun Spot, call us. We'll help temper your expectations.
No. It wasn't that good.
Do you guys ever plan ahead of what conventions you're going to next year, or is that just kind of like whatever comes your way?
If
I
Diana
usually plan
had
ahead.
for years, yeah.
I usually plan it, but it's always, getting Chris to say okay with it.
It'll be easier
That's-
when I go back to the Cyclopean series because they're smaller
You say
books.
that,
No, I'm
you
serious.
know.
Awesome
I know-
podcast.
According to Rini, she says if you're starting out doing conventions, you should start small, like the one-day event ones.
Oh yeah. It's weird when you go to a longer one and you have nothing. We were just very blessed that there were a couple of good people around us who encouraged us, and actually they encouraged us a lot, which is why I
Right.
encourage everybody. Like when I look back at who they are,
Right.
wow, their kindness is like, oh. I look at what I was selling back then, the Hero Shack anthology type series. What? They were nice to me? What?
Well, if you do a volume one of Great
Heck.
Cyclopedia, you gotta throw those in the back for extra.
Oh, those are bad though. And I had Cyclopean as a telepathic playing Superman weirdo.
Well, people might be interested. Like, it's like getting Youngblood 1987,
What?
and then looking at what it was in the early 90s. And
Yeah.
It's like, wow, he really tried to make his very own Justice League.
It's
Did
almost like,
did that bad guy Cyclopean? Did he still have the one big eye?
yeah, but he wasn't a bad guy. He was just so stereotypical. Super strength, bulletproof, laser eye, everything can fly, super fast. He didn't have breath though, so he couldn't do cool ice breath and heat breath. But he was a man's man, and he could have taken on Superman himself because he's You're that
Well, you could
badass.
have that as an alternate universe cyclopean
I could. Or just
if you ever get into the multiverse.
share it in rare occasions. Offer it as a.
If I could find the original version of the Melvin book, I have on Lulu.com, where it was like I wrote it. I wrote it myself. I drew it myself. No editor. It's supposed to have be like a copy or a flip book. I forgot what the other character's name was, but yeah, I think that got lost in time for some reason because people like try to buy it. Last person that tried to buy it couldn't nothing happened. So they changed format and then I couldn't find it anymore. So I was like, oh,
Wow, that's too bad.
Yeah, but
Just
can't you
sitting
get
there.
into your account the back way and download it?
no. Like I said, everything changed. You can't access anything. But I had just enough for the make it the basis of the first Melvin book. So it's the first Melvin book is loosely based on the first. I refer to it as a pilot story, kind of like there's a pilot episode.
Right.
Like nothing really is in the actual series beyond that episode.
Oh, hey guys. I'm like falling asleep in my seat.
Oh.
I know what I was going to say a couple minutes ago. My first con was out in LA.
It was out in LA of all places.
Big city
Yeah.
light.
What's
Christian
the Canuck like
Comic
you doing
Con.
What's the Canuck like you
It
doing
was-
in Los Angeles?
It was a Christian Comic Con. And all I had was to be able to sell my book was digitally. And I drew some drawings on there. I ended up selling one version of the digital version and one drawing.
Cool.
Well, technically, that author Palooza thing was my first con. If you think about it, I sold one book. Of course, I didn't have the setup done right, so.
Oh.
So,
Yeah. Hey guys.
So I guess time to wrap it up.
Yeah, everybody go buy Melvin. Everybody go buy Canadian Shield on June 5th. at
That's right.
12 Eastern.
July 5th.
Melvin 0 through 3 on Amazon and Xenodicius on Amazon also. So go get them.
And of course, we're at HeroShack.com. Come read Cyclopean for free. And Darkness Dies is on the way, ladies and gentlemen. Can't wait. It's coming soon.
Also,
Go ahead.
if anybody wants to, head on over to Lord Raptor Jesus stream. It's going to start up pretty soon. And hear about all those scummy people that are doing stupid stuff and laugh at them. I don't know.
And remember to be happy and have fun, and God bless you.
Yes,
God bless
exactly.
you
Don't worry.
guys.
Be
God bless
happy.
Good night.